everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Today, we're starting a special conversation about teachers who changed lives. We're so glad you could join us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mason, and I'm here with Sophia. This is such an important topic because many of us have that one teacher who made a big difference in our lives. Today, we'll talk about why teachers are so special and how they can change the lives of their students.
That's right. Mason teachers do so much more than just teach us facts or help us pass exams. They can inspire us, guide us, and even help us become the people we are today. Before we dive into the stories, let's talk a little bit about what we mean by a teacher who changes lives.
Yes, Sophia, when we say a teacher changes lives, we mean that this teacher does something special that makes a lasting impact on their students. It could be something as simple as giving encouragement when we need it most, or helping us see the world in a different way.
Exactly, Mason, and sometimes the changes they inspire can be huge, like helping a student find their passion or giving them the confidence to pursue their dreams. These are the teachers we remember for years, and today we're going to explore some stories and examples of how they've done just that.
I'm really looking forward to sharing these stories, Sophia. But first, let's talk about some of the words and phrases we'll be using today. It's important for our listeners to understand these because they'll come up a lot in our conversation.
Great idea, Mason. Let's start with the word inspire. When we say that a teacher inspires us, it means that they make us feel excited and motivated to do something. For example, a teacher might inspire us to learn more about a subject, or they might inspire us to be kind to others.
That's a really important word, Sophia. Another word we'll be using is encouragement. Encouragement is when someone gives you support or confidence. For instance, if a teacher says, "You can do it, keep trying," that's encouragement. It helps us feel like we can succeed.
Absolutely, Mason. And then there's the phrase make a difference. When we say a teacher makes a difference, we mean that they have a positive effect on someone's life. They help change things for the better. This is why we're talking about teachers who changed lives. They made a big difference in the lives of their students.
Exactly, Sophia. One more phrase to keep in mind is lasting impact. This means that the effect a teacher has on their students stays with them for a long time, maybe even their whole life. We'll be talking about how some teachers have a lasting impact on their students and why that's so important.
Those are great words to remember, Mason. Now, let's get into some stories and examples. We've all had teachers who taught us important lessons, but some teachers go above and beyond. They're the ones who really change our lives. Can you think of a teacher who made a big difference in your life, Mason?
Yes, Sophia. I had a teacher in elementary school, Mrs. Parker. She wasn't just a teacher, she was like a guide, helping me discover who I was and what I was good at. Mrs. Parker encouraged me to explore my interests and always believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself.
That's wonderful. Mason, it sounds like Mrs. Parker was more than just a teacher. She was a mentor. A mentor is someone who gives you advice and guidance, helping you grow and develop. How did Mrs. Parker help you grow?
Well, Sophia, she always encouraged me to ask questions and explore new ideas. I remember one time when I was struggling with a math problem. I was really frustrated and ready to give up, but Mrs. Parker sat down with me and said, "Mason, you're smart and capable. You just need to keep trying, and you'll get it." That simple encouragement made me feel like I could do anything if I just put my mind to it.
That's such a great example of how a teacher can make a difference. Mason, by giving you encouragement, Mrs. Parker helped you believe in yourself and keep going, even when things were tough. That's the kind of lasting impact we're talking about.
Exactly, Sophia. And it's not just about academics. Mrs. Parker also taught me about kindness and respect. She always treated everyone in the class with kindness, and she encouraged us to do the same. That's something that has stayed with me my whole life.
It sounds like Mrs. Parker was an amazing teacher. Mason, she didn't just teach you math or reading. She taught you life lessons that you've carried with you. That's the power of a teacher who truly changes lives.
Yes, Sophia. And I think many of our listeners will have similar stories, teachers who went beyond the classroom to really make a difference. In the next part of our podcast, we'll hear some of those stories and explore how teachers can inspire their students in different ways.
I'm really looking forward to that, Mason, and for our listeners. As we move through this conversation, think about the teachers in your life who made a difference. What did they do that was so special? How did they help you grow? We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories.
Absolutely.
Now, we talked about what forgiveness means and why it's so important. We're going to dive into some real-life stories and examples that show the power of forgiveness. I'm really excited to share these with you.
I'm excited too, Sophia. Stories are a great way to understand how forgiveness works in real life. It's one thing to talk about it in theory, but it's another to see how it plays out in different situations.
Exactly, Mason. Stories make the concept of forgiveness more relatable and understandable. So, let's start with a story that highlights how forgiveness can change lives.
Sure thing. I'd like to share a story about a man named John. John had a really difficult relationship with his brother, Mark. They had a big argument years ago and stopped talking to each other. For a long time, John felt hurt and angry.
That sounds really tough. Anger and hurt can be very strong emotions, and it's not easy to deal with them.
Absolutely, Sophia. But here's the turning point. John started reflecting on how this anger was affecting his own happiness. He realized that holding onto this anger was not helping him or his relationship with Mark. So, he decided to reach out to his brother and apologize.
That must have taken a lot of courage. Reaching out and apologizing is a big step. What happened after that?
It was a big step, indeed. When John contacted Mark, he expressed his regret for the argument and his desire to mend their relationship. Mark was surprised, but also very touched. He forgave John, and they started to rebuild their relationship. It wasn't easy, but both brothers felt a huge relief.
That's a powerful story. It shows how forgiveness can heal relationships and bring people back together. Let's break down some of the key phrases and words from this story.
Great idea, Sophia. One important phrase is holding onto anger. When we say someone is holding onto anger, it means they are keeping their feelings of anger inside, not letting go.
Exactly. And apologize means to say you're sorry for something you did wrong. It's a way of acknowledging that you made a mistake and asking for forgiveness.
And mend a relationship means to fix or improve a relationship that was damaged. In John's case, he wanted to mend his relationship with his brother Mark.
Those are key phrases to remember. They help us understand how forgiveness works in real-life situations. Now, let's hear another story. This one is about a teacher who forgave a student and how it made a big difference.
I'd love to hear that story. So, this teacher, Miss Adams, had a student named Lily who made a mistake in class. Lily was late with her assignments and often disrupted the class. Miss Adams could have been very angry, but instead, she chose to understand Lily's situation.
That's interesting. What did Miss Adams do?
Miss Adams took the time to talk to Lily and find out what was going on. She learned that Lily was dealing with some tough personal issues at home. Instead of getting frustrated, Miss Adams offered Lily extra support and time to complete her assignments. She forgave Lily for her mistakes and helped her get back on track.
That's a great example of forgiveness. Ms. Adams didn't just overlook Lily's mistakes. She understood her situation and chose to support her. Let's break down some of the important phrases from this story.
Sure. One key phrase is understand a situation. This means to learn about and consider what someone is going through before making a judgment.
Yes, and offered support means to give help or encouragement to someone. Ms. Adams offered support by giving Lily extra time and help with her assignments.
And get back on track means to return to the correct path or direction after a problem or setback. Lily needed to get back on track with her schoolwork, and Miss Adams helped her do that.
Those phrases are very important in understanding how forgiveness can positively impact someone's life. Now, let's discuss how we can apply these lessons in our own lives.
That's a great idea, Sophia. Forgiveness isn't always easy, but it can make a big difference. We can start by practicing understanding and empathy in our relationships. For example, if someone makes a mistake, try to understand their situation and offer support instead of just focusing on their error.
Exactly. Forgiveness can lead to stronger and healthier relationships. It's about letting go of negative feelings and choosing to move forward with a positive attitude. And remember, practicing forgiveness doesn't just help others, it helps us feel better too. Now, we explored what forgiveness is and heard some powerful stories about its impact. We're going to focus on how forgiveness can lead to personal growth and transformation.
I'm excited. Forgiveness isn't just about making peace with others. It's also about growing as individuals. So, let's dive into how forgiveness can change us for the better.
Absolutely, Mason. Forgiveness can be a transformative experience. It can help us let go of past hurts and move forward in a more positive direction. To illustrate this, let's start with a story about a woman named Emily who learned about the power of forgiveness.
Great idea. Emily was dealing with a lot of resentment towards her old friend, Sarah. They had a falling out years ago, and Emily had been holding onto her anger ever since. It affected her mood and even her other relationships.
That sounds really challenging. Holding onto resentment can indeed have a negative impact on many areas of life. What changed for Emily?
Emily decided she wanted to make a change. She realized that her anger was hurting her more than it was hurting Sarah. So, she chose to forgive Sarah, not just for Sarah's sake, but for her own well-being. Emily reached out to Sarah, expressed her feelings, and let go of the bitterness.
That's a significant step. Forgiving Sarah wasn't just about repairing their friendship. It was about Emily's own personal growth and healing. Let's break down some key phrases and words from this story.
Sure, one important phrase is holding onto resentment. This means keeping feelings of bitterness and anger inside, which can affect our well-being.
Yes, and let go of bitterness means to release feelings of anger and resentment. It's about choosing to move past negative emotions.
And personal growth refers to the positive changes we make in our character and attitudes. Emily experienced personal growth by choosing to forgive and move forward.
Those phrases are crucial in understanding how forgiveness can lead to positive changes in our lives. Now, let's discuss how forgiveness can affect our daily lives and relationships.
Forgiveness can have a ripple effect. When we forgive someone, it can improve our mood and our relationships with others. For instance, if you forgive a friend who's let you down, you're likely to feel less stressed and more positive.
Absolutely. And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means acknowledging the pain and choosing to move forward. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of negative emotions.
Exactly. And ripple effect refers to the way one action can cause a series of positive changes. Forgiving someone can lead to improved relationships and a more positive outlook.
And free yourself from the burden means to relieve yourself of the weight of negative emotions. Forgiveness helps lighten this emotional load.
Now, share a practical tip for incorporating forgiveness into your daily life. One method is to practice self-reflection. Take time to think about any grudges or negative feelings you might be holding onto and consider how they are affecting you.
Self-reflection is a great tool. By understanding our own feelings and why we hold on to them, we can take steps to forgive and heal. It's also helpful to communicate openly. If you're struggling with a situation, talk about it honestly with the person involved.
Good advice. Communicate openly means to express your thoughts and feelings honestly and directly. It can help clear up misunderstandings and pave the way for forgiveness.
Absolutely. Remember, forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It's about making progress and finding peace within yourself. And practicing forgiveness can lead to a more fulfilling and positive life. Now, we're going to explore how to move forward after forgiving someone and embrace the positive changes it brings.
Moving forward can be challenging, but it's essential for making the most out of the forgiveness process. Let's dive into how we can do this effectively.
Absolutely. After we've forgiven someone, it's important to focus on the positive outcomes and not dwell on past conflicts. One way to do this is by embracing the present moment.
Yes, embracing the present moment means focusing on the here and now rather than being stuck in the past. This can help us build new, positive experiences and relationships.
Exactly. For example, if you've forgiven a coworker for a past disagreement, try to build a better relationship with them in the present. Focus on working together and moving forward positively.
And another important aspect is setting healthy boundaries. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing others to mistreat us. It means letting go of resentment while still maintaining respect for ourselves and others.
Well said. Setting healthy boundaries involves clearly communicating your needs and limits, so relationships can improve while protecting your well-being. It's about finding a balance.
Exactly. And finding a balance means ensuring that both your needs and the needs of others are met in a fair way. This helps maintain healthy and respectful relationships.
Another way to embrace forgiveness is by practicing gratitude. When we focus on what we're thankful for, it shifts our perspective and helps us appreciate the positive aspects of our lives.
Practicing gratitude involves regularly acknowledging and appreciating the good things in our lives. It can improve our mood and strengthen our relationships.
And shifting our perspective means changing how we view situations. By focusing on positive aspects, we can better handle challenges and conflicts.
Let's also talk about the impact of forgiveness on our mental health. Forgiving others can reduce stress and anxiety, making us feel more at peace.
Absolutely. Forgiveness allows us to let go of negative emotions, which can improve our overall mental well-being. It's a way to free ourselves from emotional burdens.
And reducing stress and anxiety means feeling less overwhelmed and more relaxed. Forgiveness helps in achieving this by releasing pent-up emotions and fostering a sense of calm.
It's also important to remember that forgiveness is a personal journey. It's not about perfection, but about progress. Each step we take towards forgiving ourselves and others is valuable.
Well put. Forgiveness is about making progress and being kind to ourselves in the process. It's a journey that requires patience and understanding.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate small victories. Each time we let go of a bit of resentment or improve a relationship, it's worth acknowledging and appreciating.
Celebrating small victories means recognizing and enjoying the positive changes we achieve along the way. It helps keep us motivated and focused on our growth.
So, to sum up, embracing forgiveness involves focusing on the present, setting healthy boundaries, practicing gratitude, and celebrating progress. It's a powerful tool for personal growth and healthier relationships.
Absolutely. We hope these tips and insights help you in your journey towards forgiveness and personal growth. Remember, it's all about progress and making positive changes in your life.
Thank you for joining us for this series on forgiveness. We've enjoyed exploring this topic with you and hope you found it valuable.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We look forward to our next conversation. Until then, take care and keep moving forward with positivity.